Today we are looking at Martin Odegaard and his 87 rated card in FC24's Ultimate Team. Now what a player Odegaard is. He had a brilliant season for Arsenal last year and that has earned him an upgraded 87 rating in this year's Ultimate Team. Now I love to see that as an Arsenal fan and I had to get him in my team as soon as I could. So today we are going to look over Odegaard's new card, his gameplay, and I'm going to let you know if it's worth getting him into your team. So Odegaard will line up for me as my right centre mid in my 4-4-2, and before we get into his gameplay, let's have a quick look over his card and his stats. Now the first thing you're going to notice is his new and improved 87 rating, which should give him a nice boost in a lot of his stats. So he is of course left footed, standing at 5'10" tall, so he's not the tallest player or the shortest player in the game. He is nicely set up with high attacking and medium defensive work rates with 5-star skill moves and a 2-star weak foot. I didn't think he deserved a 2-star weak foot if I'm honest, but let's see how that impacts his play anyway. I've got him in my team as a centre mid, but he can also play as a centre attacking mid if you're using a different formation and still want to put him in your team. Looking at his stats then, and he has got full chemistry on a basic chemistry style, so we will get a lovely boost on a lot of his stats. Starting with his pace then, this is pretty average at 72, which I think is fine for a centre mid because he won't be looking to change the game with his pace or make any of those massive attacking runs, so that is fine. He has got some decent shooting stats at 81 overall, with 87 positioning the most standout stat on the list there. I'm a bit surprised that his long shot stat isn't a bit higher than 83 though, given that he scores a lot of his goals from outside the box. His passing though is looking very good at 88 with 93 on vision, 94 short pass and a 91 long pass. His dribbling looks fantastic as well at 87 overall. The standout stats for me here are obviously his ball control at 93 and agility at 89, which should be making it super easy to control and turn in the middle of the park. His physical stats don't look great at 64, and that's not a major surprise given he's not the strongest or most aggressive player. It is a bit of a shame to see his stamina so low at 81 though. And moving on to Odegaard's playstyles, and he has got a massive 7 playstyles. The first is the incisive pass plus, and what that means is his through balls are going to be much more accurate, his curved passes are done with maximum curl, and his precision passes will reach the receiver much quicker. This looks a good one to me, and this is a level above the standard incisive pass playstyle as well. His second passing playstyle is the pinged pass, and what that means is that his ground passes are going to travel faster and it won't make it any harder for the receiver to control the ball either. I think this is a really good one. His final passing playstyle is the whip pass, and what that means is that his crosses are going to be much faster, more curved and more accurate than other players' crosses would be. Now under ball control he has another 3 playstyles, with the first one being technical. Now what this means is he'll reach a higher sprint speed while he's doing a controlled sprint, and he performs more accurate wide turns while he's running with the ball. Next up is the flair playstyle, which means that he'll be able to do fancy passes with more accuracy than other players would. His final ball control playstyle is the first touch playstyle, and what that means is he'll make less mistakes when he's controlling the ball, and he'll be able to go from controlling to dribbling much faster than others would and with much more control. And his final playstyle is the Trivela style under physical, which just means that he'll use the outside of his foot for crosses and shots when it's the right thing to do so. It is a good one for Odegaard because he has only got a 2-star weak foot, meaning he won't need to use his right very often with this either. So Odegaard is looking like a great player overall, so let's take him into the game and see how he does. Now with Odegaard being my centre mid, I'm going to start this review by looking at his control and passing and receiving ability. Odegaard has an immaculate first touch. He will take control of any pass you give him and the ability to make something happen from his first touch alone. The way he receives the ball and controls it on the turn is unbelievable. He very rarely makes any mistakes when he's receiving the ball, which makes it so easy to play with him. Now his passing is fantastic as well. He is the type of player you want controlling your midfield because he can pick out almost any pass you want him to. His short passing is obviously very good, but it's his long and intricate passes that I'm most interested in. He can pick out his teammates with long balls with no problem and with such high accuracy that he'll always have a way to find your wingers and strikers. Plus with that playstyle that we looked at earlier, they are more likely to get the ball under control as well, even if it's bouncing or coming at them at speed. Where he's really dangerous though is with his intricate passing. He can make a pass through smaller gaps than a lot of other players could. That makes it nice and easy for you to slip a through ball right between 2 defenders and into the run of your striker. Where you might struggle with lesser midfielders, Odegaard will make that pass far more often than not. The same is true for his short passing as well, where he'll manage to squeeze the ball through gaps with no effort whatsoever. He's just as good with his first time passing as he is with the ball under control. Another thing that makes Odegaard so easy to play with is his agility. It's so easy to move around the field with the ball because he can make those little turns with the ball to wrong foot defenders while he's keeping that ball under control. When he's receiving the ball on the other hand, when he's turning he takes it so smoothly and creates that space that he needs to take the ball forward. Now remember that he does have that playstyle that means he can control the ball and transition into a dribble much faster than others, and that really shows in his gameplay. He'll get into a dribble instantly where others might need an extra second to get it under control. Now that is so dangerous because he's able to start an attacking move out of literally nothing, and he'll keep a breakaway flowing as well with no effort at all. Now he's not the strongest player on paper, but he has got a way of holding off defenders just enough with the ball under control. He's nice and composed and will still get a good pass away when he's under pressure as well. His goal scoring ability is not too bad either. I was a little bit disappointed with his shooting stats, but he will still score some decent goals for you from midfield. With his positioning, he knows when he should make those forward runs without leaving the middle too exposed. He'll run forward into space at the right time to give defenders problems at the edge of the box, or he'll drift into space around the 6-yard area to occupy defenders, pulling them away from your strikers, or just position himself to get a tap in from close range. It is really clever play from Odegaard, who just chooses the right time to push and he knows when he should stay a little bit further back as well. He can score his own goals as well. He's not the greatest finisher and he won't score every time, but he does have this ability to dribble through defenders and open up space for a shot. He won't score the hard shots very often, but when they do come off, they are memorable. He will though be able to score those easier shots much more regularly, so his shooting ability isn't a total loss. Aside from that though, he is a fairly average finisher, which isn't going to be a huge problem given that that's not the reason why you'll have him in your team. One thing that he's not going to be able to do though is change the game with his pace. Now he's got pretty average, maybe a little bit low pace, which isn't a huge problem for a midfielder, and given that he positions himself so well, he won't get himself into a foot race with a fullback like Cole Walker. If you do find yourself running in space with him though, he will get caught simply because he's just not one of those players made to run. So overall, how am I rating Odegaard? I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. Now that is a pretty high rating, and the reason for that is he is just amazing to have in your team. He has got the ability to change the game with his touch and his passing, plus he'll find just about any player in your team at any time, whether that's a first time pass, a short pass or an intricate through ball. His passing ability is fantastic and he'll help your forwards get through on goal. He's not the strongest player, but he'll still hold his own against stronger opposition where he's not easily wrestled off the ball. Plus he's composed enough to get the ball away under pressure as well. I would 100% recommend getting Odegaard into your team if he'll fit your chemistry and your style of play. I think he's a player that could stay into your team for at least a few months and keep being that difference in the middle of the park even as we get more promo cards coming into the game. So let me know in the comments what you think and how Odegaard is playing for you. If you enjoyed this review, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more EAFC videos and player reviews. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.